Cyberbullying. Should it be made a crime? Well, first of all, look at the photo. It's kind of a weird feeling, isn't it? I don't want to say those bad words in this video because I am, first of all, a kid, and second of all, I have to censor few things because some of this content is meant for kids. So let's get this started. Should cyberbullying be made a crime? Firstly, what is cyberbullying? Well, cyberbullying, you may have encountered it in your life. It's like when you have mails or other types of objects. Hang on. All those things happen all over the time, and all I'm going to say about it is that there's just a lot of cyberbullying in the world. There's cyber tracking, where like relationships end, like ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend happen, and then like an ex-boyfriend or the ex-girlfriend go track down their ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. That's gonna get confusing a little bit too. And other things like cyberbullying through short messages, as the ones I've shown you, or in those chats in those live chats that they allow during game time. And when someone is really bad at the game, you might say something that harms that person and probably lose the productivity, and you might even do things that disrupts the game and even kills that player, which is like not the objective of the goal. And also, it's supposed to be teamwork here, guys. And a lot of things, and there are a lot of interesting stories about cyberbullying, and I'm just going to tell you two of them because I didn't have enough time. Now, there was this teenage girl who was 12 years old, and she was called Alex. I know that's a boy's name, but that's probably like short for something. But then again, Alex is also used for girl names, so I'm confused here. And according to the stories I've heard, she was the usual teenage girl. She liked boys, she liked to do stuff. I mean, she went to school, she was fine at school, I guess. But then one day she started getting messages from her supposedly boyfriend, who called himself in the MySpace program, the social network, Josh. And then they talked to each other, and then finally Josh, at random times, Josh started sending her messages saying that he didn't want to be her friend anymore because he heard some terrible things about her. And Alex like, what? What happened? And then she started getting worse messages that degraded her mood, and yeah. Finally her mom basically told her to stop doing it, that just ignore it, and it's actually really hard to ignore these types of things. So she just went on, and her mother found out, and well, she suicided. I know I said like she was 12 years old, but it turns out that she's 13 years old. I mean, it looks the same. So I got a little bit confused. Sorry, Megan. Yeah, I mean, she liked the boys, she liked Josh, and then, like, there was a message saying, I don't know if I want to be friends with you anymore because I've heard that you're not very nice to your friends. And, like, Megan was shocked, and she did not know who Josh had been talking to. The next day, she logged on again, only to find more nasty messages from Josh. And her mother, who was named Tina, was just going out and told her daughter to leave the website and ignore the messages. Megan said she would, but she became more and more distressed as she received hurtful and insulting messages from different people. It actually seemed like Josh had shared some of their private messages. So when Tina returned home, she found her daughter sending angry replies to some of the messages. And Tina and Megan argued, and after which Megan went to her room. 20 minutes later, Tina went to check on her daughter and found that Megan had hanged herself. Megan died the next day. Now, here's the truth about the guy named Josh. Megan's parents tried to contact Josh Evans to tell the effect on his messages that they had on her daughter. Basically, that they tried to tell him that he inadvertently probably killed her, Megan. And they found that his MySpace account has been closed. What? They later discovered that Josh did not exist at all. The mother of one of Megan's friends, this woman right here, well, helped by someone who had worked for her, had pretended to be Josh on MySpace. The woman said that she had been trying to find out what Megan was saying about her own daughter. At the time, cyberbullying wasn't illegal, so no one was convicted of a crime in connection with Megan's story. Megan's story shows the harm that cyberbullying has done to one family. It also shows that people may not always spot the signs of a fake identity if they want to believe that someone is who they say they are. And here's another interesting story. On July of 2009, a woman named Keely Houghton was jailed for 3 months for posting threatening messages on, you guessed it, Facebook. And Houghton had been bullying a fellow teenager for many years. She had a history of bullying and claimed that she had posted the threats at night and then removed them soon afterward. However, the court found out that the threats happened on Facebook for around 24 hours. I mean, on the pros and cons here, it's probably this. We should make cyberbullying a crime because it has affected families. And always negatively. But not usually in suicides, though. Some people are smart enough to actually tell their parents. And if you get death threats from someone, would you would you be scared? By the way, these messages are from text messages from people like Trump supporters. I'm actually surprised they actually did all these. And also, people have nightmares because of these threats. And they tried to suicide to relieve the pressure because, well, they feel like they're worthless now. On the negative side, we shouldn't make cyberbullying a crime because some cyberbullies may be banned or jailed for something that were provoked into. And the cyberbullies who actually made them do that are called, you guessed it, trolls. I'm actually surprised they actually named it that. Also, it shouldn't be a crime unless it ends up someone having extreme negative effects, like hanging. It's not hangman right now. And so it's probably not a crime if all it does is just insults. Unless they're really terrible insults and break some of the rules of the game. Just make sure that wherever you are, be safe. And some tips to getting rid of these cyberbullies are here. One of them is to contact an adult. And if that doesn't stop it because they keep using a different address, email address or text number, then try to do the smart decision. Contact your ISP, your internet service provider, and then get them to trace the cyberbully to the IP address and block that IP address because you don't have the power to block an IP address. You have the power to block an email, but then they can always use another email. Moving on, another way you can do it is to contact your school. It's probably, if it's school-related somewhat, then try to contact the school. Tell your parents who will contact the school. Also, not all of them. Not all the teenagers who might threaten you are teenagers. They could be pretending to be teenagers, but they're probably adults. Some teachers have cyberbullied some students too. And as in the example of those Trump-related messages, at least that's according to the description, I'm not sure what to say about that. I'm just going to be neutral in that opinion. And so, yeah, now that we've relieved the pressure on how we can solve and how you can fight cyberbullying, sleep well tonight. Shnan out. Peace.